Right, I think most of you at this stage, you're quite happy with getting the wall in place. In this particular question that they've given you 2 brick courses over here. That's 85 millimeters up to the first brick course and another 85 millimeters above that. What I would suggest you do is figure out what that dimension is for those 2 brick courses, draw it in, and then use your set squares to find the midpoint of that. And then use your set squares to find the midpoint of this brick over here. That'll give you basically the height of your wall plates that you need. They tell you that you've got a 115 by 40 roof truss on a 115 by 40 millimeter wall plate. So that'll basically give you your wall plate in there. You can see that the wall plate sticks out just a little bit. Right, once we've got that, we look over here and it tells us that there is a roof with a pitch of 30 degrees. So we're going to take our ruler and we are going to come over here and we're going to be able to draw a 30-degree line going off that corner of that wall plate over there. All right, so there's your 30-degree line going off there. And that's obviously a construction line that I've just drawn in over there. Our next thing is, it says that it is 115 millimeters, the thickness of this over here. That distance from there to there is 115. Now we need to divide that by a scale. In this case, it's a scale 1:20, and we end up with a 5.75 millimeters, which is very, very close to 6. So what I would suggest you do is you just go along to your circle stencil, find the 6 millimeter, your 6 millimeter circle, and you're going to draw in a quick circle on top of that line over there, and you can now draw another construction line going off just very slightly less than the 6 millimeters, and everybody will be very, very happy. In fact, you could make it 6 millimeters and everybody would be ecstatic. Right, okay, our next thing is to figure out where the rest of the truss goes. That goes at the bottom over here. You can actually physically draw that in dark straight away, going all the way across to where they basically telling you to stop. And again, take your 6 millimeter little circle stencil. You can draw that and knock in a dark line going across there. And that gives you the bottom of the roof truss. Okay. As soon as I've done that, well, I wouldn't worry about doing terribly much more of the roof. I'm going to go straight down to the ceiling board over here. They tell you that you've got 8 millimeter ceiling board. Now, if you divide that by 20, you're going to have basically less than a millimeter. So it's just a single line that you're going to be drawing. And it says that it's on 40 by 40 millimeter branding. Okay, so that's 2 millimeter by 2 millimeter branding. So here we go. You come along here and, well, 2 millimeters. I think we can, there's my 2 millimeter mark going down there. If you really want to, you can measure it. 2 millimeters, and you'll see that I've got that down. And I draw in a line, just a straight line going across there. If you want to, you can make it slightly thicker, just to show that you know that there's some ceiling board in there. And then we start out and we say, right, I need my first little piece of ceiling board to be placed in here. That's the edge over here. Not ceiling board, branding. Note the little cross. Take a little cross and finish it up. They tell you that it needs to be 600 millimeters apart. So 600 divided by your 20 is 30 millimeters. So you measure from the center of that, going across 30 millimeters. 30 millimeters there. Go across another 30 millimeters there. Go across, well, the next one is out of the picture, so you can't really see that. So you then take you can just draw a line going through there. Line going through there. 45, 45. Go over here, same story. Line going through there. line going through there, and you can then have your round ring put in place, and that is just perfect. Just make sure that you've got those little crosses in. Everybody will give you your marks. Right, our next trick is to try and figure out where the height of this roof is. Where does it peak? Okay, so I come over here, and you'll see I'm measuring off from there to there with my pair of dividers. I've measured a distance of 29 on this particular drawing, and I say, okay, 29 multiplied by 50 is equal to that 1450 divided by 20 is equal to 72.5. Okay, I need to measure from the edge of this wall 72.5 millimeters across there, and I will then have the center. So 72.5, there it is. Come over here and mark that off. Let's just get that in the right place. There we go. Somewhere over there is where my roof height is going to be. So I can draw a construction line going up there. And obviously I have a piece of material in there, which is that's 6 millimeters again. So I can draw in my 6 millimeters with a construction line and draw on either side of that. Line coming down there and a line coming down there. There we go. There's my piece of material over there. Oh yes, sorry, that's meant to come down. Let's just draw that in. Put a line that's going to come down over there. Okay. And a line that's going to come down over there. I'm just going to rub out that little thing over there. That little mistake that I made there. Right, there we go. There's basically the roof truss done. I now need to figure out how far out this roof truss goes over here. And we need the information. Right, the information over here, let's just have a look at that. It tells you over here that you have a 300 millimeter roof overhang to the end of the roof truss. Okay, so we take that 300 millimeters, and we divide it by our 20, which gives me 15 millimeters. So I measure off 15 millimeters. Okay, and I can measure out from the edge of the wall 15 millimeters out there, and I can drop a line going straight down there, and I know that my roof truss ends at that point over there. So I can finish off this roof truss, line going up to there, continuing all the way up to there, line going up to there, continuing all the way up to there. Right, the next thing that I'm going to do is put these purlins in, okay? They tell you that you've got 3 purlins that they need you to put in, and the first one that I'm going to put in is that one in the middle, okay? How do I find that? Well, I know what the length of this is. I'm going to take my pair of compasses and I'm going to make a little arc, go to that end of the roof truss, make a little arc, take my 60-degree set square, and I can draw a construction line coming down over there. That gives me the center over there. Once I've got that in place, I can then start looking at drawing the little purlins. Okay, right, the spacing of the purlins, they say, is 900 millimeters, so I'm going to figure that out. It's now 45, divide 900 by 20, you get 45. I place my pair of compasses at that intersection over there. There's my second purlin, and there's my third purlin over there. So I've got a purlin which needs to be drawn at this point over here. A purlin, sorry, that's not the right angle there. Let's get the 60-degree purlin drawn out at there. A purlin that's going to be drawn smack in the middle, and a purlin that's going to be drawn over there. Right, once I've got that in place, they are 50 by 75, okay? 50 by 75 purlins, which is 3.75 by 2.5. And at the end of the day, I need to measure that out accurately. Okay, 2.5, it's basically 1 and a bit. So just make a mark there and there. And there, and there. And come over here, there, and there. Okay, I'm going to just draw those lines out. Just take lines going out over there. Okay, and what is the closest little circle to my 3.75? That would be a 4mm circle. So I look for my 4mm circle here, line that up on there, draw a little circle in there, and I can now get my measurement for the top of these purlins. Okay, and I can then start drawing them in there and there, there and there, there and there. That down. Okay, we've got a little roof overhang. The sheeting that's going to go on the top goes up over there, and sheeting coming down on the other side over there. You can see that. And obviously I need another purlin, which is exactly on the opposite side over here. Note I'm just taking lines across from the purlin that I've got in that place, and I'm going to draw a purlin going up over there as well, which then has little crosses going through it. You can do those crosses more accurately than I'm doing. I'm just trying to save some time here. Right, there we go. There's the roof sheeting and the purlins in place. Once I've got those in place, I can then put the roof cap on top. Okay, there should be a little cuppy on top of that. Let's just see, where is that? And it doesn't talk about that little roof cap thing. Okay, so finally found where the roof cap is. Here it is in the roof components over here, and they say that you've got a roof cap or ridge cover of 300. Okay, divide that by your scale, and then divide that measurement by 2, and you'll end up with 7.5 on either side. So you go over here, measure off your 7.5 in the middle, 7.5 that way, 7.5 that way, and you can then draw up 2 construction lines just going up over there, and then you can just draw a line coming down that side of things and a line coming down that side of things just above that roof. And there you go, you've got your roof cap in place. There you go, and there you go. Right, roof cap done. Come down a little bit more. Right, okay, roof cap in place. I can now carry on. The next thing that we're going to look at is the fascia board over here. There is a fascia board that they talk about, which is 300 by 20 millimeters, which is 15 by 1 millimeter. So I measure off 15 millimeters. There's 15. Come over here to basically the edge of the roof over there, and I'm going to mark it off so that I have my little barge board 1 millimeter there, here, 1 millimeter there, and I can now draw in my fascia board over there and there. Right, there's my fascia board drawn in. What needs to happen now is that we need to look at the gutter. There is a little gutter that needs to go on in the middle of this thing. All right, so we need to find the middle of that. Just find the center of that fascia board over there. There we go, there's the center. Okay, once I've done that, I come over here and I look at my gutter. It says 150 by 150 guttering. Okay, so 150 divided by my 20 is equal to 7.5. Okay, so 7.5 millimeter guttering. 7.5, there we go. Measure out over there. Okay, and I can now let's do this. And draw a construction line. Find the center. Find the center. Find the center. Right, there's my center. Just going to draw a construction line. Just going to do this with a red pen so you can see this idea. From the center, there we go. From the center, there we go. Those are construction lines that I've just drawn there, but I now have a perfect square, which I can then draw in. I'm just going to draw it in dark. There is my gutter over there, okay? And obviously you can draw a little bit there. Right, okay, gutter in place. You can make that roof just overhang a little bit more. Okay. And then I've got the barge board, which is going to stick out even more. Right, my barge board. You'll see my barge board over here. You see that part sticking out way more than the gutters and everything. Okay, it says that it goes 40 millimeters past the gutter. So I take my 40 millimeters divided by my 20, which is 2 millimeters out from the gutter. So I measure off 2 millimeters more from the gutter, take that, pop that over there, and I now have the end of my barge board. My barge board goes right up to the roof over there, so I can take a line going up to that point over there. Okay, and it says that it is 15 millimeters as well, so I'm just going to draw a construction line going that way and measure off 15 millimeters or 300 millimeters divided by the 20, giving you the 15. There it is. I can now draw a line going all the way down to that and going right up to the wall over there. And that is everything that you need for the roof.